Okay, so if you've been following the AI space, you need to hear this. The latest leaks suggest the entire world of AI coding is about to get completely flipped on its head. We're talking about DeepSeek V4, a new model that might not just compete with the big guys, it could straight up dominate them. The specs that have leaked out are absolutely staggering, so let's just dive right in.
Yep, that's really the bottom line here. What used to be a pretty predictable race between a couple of major players, well, that just turned into an all-out war. A brand new challenger has thrown down the gauntlet, and believe me, the entire industry is paying attention. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at how these coding wars just exploded. Then we'll get into the juicy details, the leaked superpowers of this new model, and ask if this could be a local AI revolution. We'll also have to talk about the geopolitical elephant in the room. Most importantly, we'll break down why this all matters for you, and I'll give you a solid action plan to get ready. All right, let's set the stage. Who is DeepSeek anyway? Well, they're a Chinese AI company that kind of popped onto the scene and immediately started making waves. Their whole game plan seems to be making this incredibly powerful AI available to everybody. We're not just talking about huge enterprise clients with deep pockets, but also regular developers like you and me, and even small startups. And here's the crucial difference. From everything we're hearing, DeepSeek V4 is not just another chatbot that can write a basic Python script. No. The leaks are pointing to this being a laser-focused, specialized tool. It's built from the ground up for really complex software engineering, the kind of stuff you'd normally need a senior-level developer for. You know, right now, the coding world is pretty much run by ChatGPT and Claude. They're the big dogs, but the clock is definitely ticking. These leaks are pointing to a release date around mid-February 2026, which is right around the Lunar New Year, and that's when this new challenger is set to officially step into the ring. Okay, so what's all the buzz about? Why is everyone freaking out? Let's get into the technical details from the leaks, the stuff that has the whole community talking. These are the so-called superpowers that could make V4 an absolute game changer. First thing you need to know, the context window. The rumor is a 1 million token context window. I mean, let's just pause on that. That number is insane. It's just wildly larger than what most models can handle today. You know how current AIs start to forget the beginning of a conversation? This is supposed to solve that on a massive scale. So what does that actually mean for you, the developer? Well, the benefit is absolutely huge. We're talking about moving past feeding an AI little snippets of code here and there. This is about being able to upload your entire code base, the whole project, and having the AI understand the whole thing all at once. Every file, every dependency, how everything connects, it's a whole new level. But it's not just about having a giant memory. The leaks also claim that internal tests show V4 is crushing both Claude and the GPT models on really hard coding benchmarks. And look, we're not talking about simple write me a fizzbuzz kind of tests. These are supposedly complex software engineering level problems that need a real grasp of architecture and logic. So if you boil it all down, the hype really stands on three big pillars. First, supposedly better performance. Second, that massive 1 million token context window. And third, there's all this buzz about improved reasoning circuits. Basically, that means the model is just smarter at problem solving. It's not just about spitting out code faster, it's about thinking through a problem logically, planning out the steps, and being way better at debugging. But believe it or not, this story doesn't end with raw performance. The leaks are also pointing to a massive strategic advantage, and this one is a really big deal for any business that cares about security and privacy. And that advantage comes down to one phrase: open weights. See, DeepSeek has a history of being pretty open source friendly, often using licenses like MIT. So if V4 follows that same trend, it could mean you can actually download this powerhouse model and run it locally on your own hardware. And that is the huge privacy payoff. Think about it. For any company with strict rules about their data, this is a total game changer. It means your secret proprietary code never, ever has to leave your servers. You don't have to worry about sending it out through some API. That completely wipes out a huge security risk. It's a massive, massive deal. Okay, but we have to talk about the geopolitical elephant in the room, because none of this amazing tech exists in a vacuum. There are some pretty significant controversies and concerns that we just can't ignore, and they're all tied to where this company comes from. The fact is, DeepSeek is a Chinese AI company. And because of that, it's under a microscope from Western governments and regulators. The big worries are usually about data privacy and the potential for government influence. You know, we saw Italy recently close a probe into the company, but that wider geopolitical tension and scrutiny, that's not going away. It's a major hurdle. So what you're left with is a really clear trade-off. On one side, you have the potential for massive performance boosts and maybe even big cost savings. But on the other side, you have these very real concerns about data privacy and the risk of running into regulatory roadblocks. Every single company is going to have to look at that and decide for themselves where they stand. All right, so let's zoom out for a second. You might be thinking, well, maybe I'll just skip this one. But even if you decide never to touch DeepSeek, these leaks still matter to you a lot. They're going to create a ripple effect that touches the entire tech industry. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine the AI market is a car race. V4 isn't just showing up with a slightly faster race car. It's like they're showing up with a completely different kind of vehicle, one that can also carry a ton of cargo. That's the context window. It's not just an improvement. It could be a fundamental change in what's possible. And this brand new vehicle is about to jump into an already crowded race. I mean, the AI coding wars are already on fire. You've got GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, all fighting for your attention. And now, DeepSeek V4 is about to come in hot and challenge every single one of them. And this is the crucial point. This is why it matters for everyone, no matter which tool you prefer. Competition is fantastic for us, the users. If DeepSeek really is as good as the leaks say, do you think OpenAI and Anthropic are just going to sit back and watch? No way. They'll have to innovate faster, which means better, smarter, and more powerful models for all of us in the long run. Okay, so with all that said, what do you do now? How do you actually prepare for a launch that could genuinely shake up the entire industry? Let's get practical and lay out a clear action plan.
Here's what I recommend. Step 1. Go try out DeepSeek's current V3 model right now. Get used to how it works, its style, what it's good at. Step 2. Get on their API notification list so you're one of the first in line for early access. And step 3, and this is important, prepare your tests. Figure out the hard problems your current tools can't solve and have those prompts ready to go so you can test V4 on day 1.
And that brings me to my final verdict on all this. You should absolutely be excited. The potential here is just incredible. But you also have to be skeptical. Don't just buy into the hype. The only way to know for sure is to test it yourself, on your own projects, with your own problems, when it finally drops. So that's the big question we're all left with, right? Is this all just really, really good marketing hype, or are we standing on the edge of a genuine revolution in how we write code? The answer to that is going to define the next chapter of these AI wars. And I have a feeling the next few months are going to be absolutely